Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And as usual, by the time I get set up, the event I wanted to capture has gone away or diminished. And of course, it's changed a lot. And what I wanted to capture is shortwave reception right now, with the solar flux above 100. A couple of days last week, it was like above 110. Now it's dropped down to about 104. But shortwave listening conditions have improved with that higher solar flux number. Now, right now, it's 5:30 a.m. here in Clearwater, Florida. Now, when I started this, and I was trying to get my recording set up and everything, down here, see these big signals right here? They were all across this band. I was getting all kinds of stations. Now, I'm using, in this case, both an analog receiver, my Grundig Satellite 800, hooked to my 31-foot MFJ vertical antenna, and my RSP-DX SDR hooked to a amplified loop antenna. Now, the tip of the vertical antenna is 31 feet. Now, the center of the loop antenna is only about 10 feet. So there's a big difference. So we got a lot of variables here. Different coax cable, different connectors. So we've got a lot of variables. So I'm not totally trying to compare analog versus digital or SDR. I'm just trying to show you what's happening on the bands. And I have moved over to what I call, kiddingly, the dark side. I like SDRs. And I've got one of the best SDRs for the money. You can buy more expensive ones, but this one's the best for the money. And this is the SDR Plays RSP DX. And I've showed it to you before, so I won't dwell on that. But as you can see on my computer screen, I can see the signals. And right now, I'm on 5 megahertz. And I can turn this back on, the audio. Pretty clear. Turn the audio up a little more. See if it'll come up on the minute so we can hear that voice. Oh, come on. Here we go. That's a female. There's the male.
36 minutes. Coordinated universal time.
So you can even hear right now that signal level is changing quite a bit. And of course, if you're using the SDR, you can see it changing quite a bit. You can see it up here on the S meter right here, and you can see it on the waveform just getting up to minus 80 dBm. So the question is, are, like the Grundig 800, and that's just one radio, one analog radio. I have hundreds of analog radios. Are they still cutting the mustard as far as competing against an SDR? Forgetting the fact that you can change a ton of things in an SDR, just in general usage. I believe the SDRs are better. Now, of course, and I'm trying to look at my setup here. I can't easily change it right now, but I'm using different antennas. That will make a heck of a difference. I can, matter of fact, I can, no. See, the problem is, gosh, stuttering here, sorry about that. The loop antenna has built not into it, but up where the loop is, it has a preamplifier. And that preamplifier requires a DC voltage to power it. The beauty of the RSPDX and some of the other SDR Play devices is some of their antenna connections do have a bias T to provide power to an antenna. So I'm taking advantage of that and getting power to that loop antenna's preamplifier via the SDR. Now, the antenna itself came with a little preamplifier that you plug into a USB port to provide power to the preamplifier and a connector to connect to your radio. Unfortunately, I misplaced that. And what's really bizarre is I've been doing a lot of cleaning because I'm just overwhelmed with stuff. So I've been doing a lot of cleaning. And in doing that cleaning, I found that preamplifier, but I don't know where I put it. It's like, I'm just crazy, man. I finally found it, and then now it's missing again. So I got to find it again. Then, when I find it, then I can stick my loop antenna with the preamplifier on to my Grundig 800 and power it with that little USB power supply for the antenna. That's got the right connectors. Whew. Oh, did you see it? So there's some signals coming up here, bumping up. It's another thing about an SDR. It's there, one right there. It's right there. I don't know why that's coming and going. Maybe it's just noise or something. I can see if I can click on there. I'll turn the audio back on. Again, I'm just, well, that went off screen there. I'm just playing around. Yeah, it's over a little further now. Let me zoom in, or out, or whatever you want to call it. There it is. There's something right there. Probably noise. Or some kind of data. Okay, let's move on. So let me mute here. Can't talk over the noise. So what I've got set up here on my SDR is I've got a database, a memory bank, that goes from 5 megahertz to 30 megahertz. And it's the EIBI database. Now, you can use the EIBI database directly. Now, when I say directly, you have to import it, which converts it to the database that the SDR Uno likes. But the raw, I'll call it raw, EIBI database, which you can download from the internet, just do a search on EIBI database, has what I call duplicates. In that, on a given frequency, it will list a station several times showing the different times and the different shows that are on that station. So you get what I call a bunch of duplicates. So if you try to use that database to search, the search is going to take forever because it's going to stop at each one of those entries. Well, I was gifted by one of my subscribers, and I'm hoping that he'll contact me again because this database I'm using is quite old. He saw that I was struggling with that, and he, through the use of the Microsoft Excel program, wrote a little script to take out all those duplicates so that for every frequency and every station, there's only one entry. So now when you scan, it goes through there lickety split. So I'm hoping that he will see this show and do that for me again, and or explain to me how I can do it. My early days of being an engineer, I used to use Excel all the time, and I used to write scripts and all that stuff. But for the last, 20 years of my work at Honeywell. They brainwashed me and made me a technical director, which means you don't actually do the work, you just tell people what to do to get the job done. So I've lost those skills, and I could regain them again, but being quite old, it becomes a little harder. I'm babbling. Okay, let's go back. So we're going to use SDR to tell us, SDR Uno, to tell us what's out there. Now, another nice feature that's come out recently is these plugins. And I've been using a lot the Black Cat Systems plugin and the Fran plugin. Now, the Black Cat System program I use, which I bought, is DX Tools. And I showed you that. It's got a ton of tools, one of which is a database of the frequencies. And that program will, through this plugin, talk to SDR Uno. And while you're scanning, when the scan stops, the frequency database will show you what's in that database on that frequency. Now, Fran, and it shows you on the screen. Excuse me. Fran does the same thing, but that's all it does, but it does a great job of it. So we're going to try Fran. So I'm going to load Fran. Then I've got to pick a database file, which I think there's one in here. Yep, there's one. This one's not too old. This one came with, I don't know if it came with Fran or if it came with the Black Cat system. But anyway, it's fairly new. So I'm going to open that one. So now you can see down here, it's showing you on this spectrum screen all the frequencies that are in the database. So you really, really, really have to zoom in to kind of separate these out. So it's showing where I am right now. There's nothing in the database. But it does show there's fax right here, and there's some other Navy stuff. There's a bunch of things down in that area. Now let me zoom back out. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to 5 megahertz again. And I loved, Eric, I can't think of his last name, wrote this plugin that shows you these databases. And I love this. And he's even taken the time to color code the displays here, the text, where the purple is broadcasting in English, and then the other colors mean a different language. So you can see right down here, well, and that database that I loaded may not be the one he's color coded. It might be the one from Black Cat Systems. So ignore what I said about, I had to make sure that I had his database. But anyway, here's WWV right here. And you can see there's the one from Hawaii, which is the female voice. It says right here, F announcement, and here's the male announcement. That's what we were listening to before. Let me turn the audio back on. I'm unmuted. Gotten really weak. Okay, so you could barely, or I could barely hear the female voice. And then by the time the male voice was making an announcement, the signal level went up. Of course, because it's closer, I think. Anyway, let me go over to my 800 turn the volume back up. It's on 5 megahertz. See if I can hear anything. Not too good. I can hear it. Not too good. Try changing the bandwidth. Okay, I could hear the beep on the minute, but the voice was way down the mud. The noise level on that vertical antenna right now is quite high compared to the magnetic. Now that's typical, plus the magnetic has that preamplifier that filters out some of the noise. So what I need to do is I need to find that little amplifier so that I can run the loop antenna on my Grundig or any other analog radio. Okay, so let's do a little scan here, and I've babbled enough. So I'm going to scan this database this memory bank that I've loaded, which goes from 5 megahertz to 30 megahertz, and this is all the international broadcast stations from the EIBI database. Here we go. Scan. Now let me stop for a second, because I noticed with this setup, my noise level is down quite a bit. So let me see what I've got, the scanner configuration. It's set to minus 80. I can move it way down. I could probably move it down to minus 100. So let's change this to minus 100. And you have to adapt this based on the noise level at the time you're scanning. So I'll close this. So now the noise level, did I change it? I don't think I changed it. Let me go back and check again. Nope, I didn't. I forgot to hit return. Minus, I want to say 100. Enter, forgot to hit the enter button. Okay, now you can see this line here. That's where the threshold is. So now we're going to scan, and we're going to let it rip. There we go. WWV. Okay, I think I have moved that threshold down too far. I think I need to go up a little bit. Like if I look at this signal right here, it goes as high as minus 90, and this one goes as high as minus 95. Now the other thing to keep in mind when you're setting that level, the signals instantaneously are going up higher than what you're visually seeing. So, like in this case, I've set the level too low. So I'm going to set it at minus 90. So we go back up here, scanner configuration, change this to minus 90, because I was stopping on every frequency. I didn't want that. You have to play with that. Okay, we're going to resume here. Now it's scanning. There we go. That's better. Now, the screen is a little jumpy. That's because I'm really overloading. I'm going to stop there for a minute. Okay, that's Dr. Scott program. It's not Dr. Scott, I don't believe, but it's his program. And I'm a little bit off frequency according to the database. I think this is WWCR in Tennessee, which is this big honking signal here. So you can see right now there's a couple of big signals right along here. And if I zoom back out, there's a bunch of them. So things have improved just while I've been rambling. So I'm not going to sit here and just let this thing scan, waste your time. So the important thing is, thank goodness, something good has happened into 2020, and that's the fact the solar flux index has gone up. It jumped up. It was in the high 60s, low 70s. Now it's above 100, and it's been that way for over a week. I don't know if it's going to stay, but hopefully we bottomed out on the 11-year solar cycle, and we're now heading up, and we will continue to go up, which means shortwave conditions should improve every day as it goes up. So dust off those old radios, get you a new SDR. Again, I like these RSP play devices. You can get them at ham radio outlets. They have a few on Amazon, but the prices are not that good on Amazon. They're much better on HRO if you live in the United States. That's it. I think I've babbled enough. Again, I'm going to try to find that little preamplifier so that I can use this loop antenna on my, for instance, Grundig Satellite 800. Also, I want to get my neighbor to help me to push that antenna up another 10 feet. I think it's just a little bit too low. As I can say, the center of the loop is only about 10 feet in the air. I'd like to get it 20 feet in the air. That would be ideal. That's it. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.